Hello everybody, this is Hybrid, and today I will be doing, as promised in my other videos, my MCU Marvel Cinematic Universe Easter eggs. So today I will be doing The Incredible Hulk, which came out in 2008, second film in the MCU, not chronologically, but release-wise, and it stars Edward Norton, Liv Tyler, Tim Roth, and William Hurt. So I enjoyed the movie, and I watched it again just to get the Easter eggs and whatnot. So I'm gonna try doing them in the order they showed up in the movie as, but if they aren't in order by appearance, I'm sorry about that. But then again, it doesn't really matter really because they're really just picture stills from the film I took while watching it on my computer today. So it's not like you're watching the movie. So let's begin. The first still I have is from the beginning, kind of like the intro, where because they didn't do an origin story, which I'm actually kind of happy with this time, but instead they kind of did, a brief summary of what's happened, and part of that was, they had a bunch of government slash army files, and one of them was this U.S. Army Stark Industries, which is interesting because this appears later on with the whole like the super soldier like serum things when Blosky gets it. The canisters have that on it too and whatnot. I didn't take a picture of that though because I already have some. I'm gonna have a bunch of other Stark Industry things, but just so you know, that's there. Then yeah, so basically this it goes with Captain America, even though it came out later, but they said Stark Industries is the number one provider of weapons and whatnot for the U.S. Army. So there, and then they stated again in the first Iron Man film how Stark Industries is a weapon supplier for the military, especially the United States military. So I thought that connected, you know, three worlds technically in the MCU universe together. So yeah, let's go to the next one. Alright, so it looks like a file from SHIELD because on the top it has, their acronym meaning Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement Logistics Division, which is special just to the MCU. Obviously, in the regular comics, it's not that, but it has Nick Fury, SHIELD Command, Code Red, New York, NY address, I'm assuming, and it talks about how, I guess, SHIELD is involved as well in the whole Hulk thing. Maybe because in the MCU the whole Hulk thing. Same with Ultimate Marvel Universe. If you don't know this, they're both related to the whole fact of like trying to reproduce a super soldier serum, or the at least the effects of it getting a super soldier, since they don't have all the materials they had before, obviously, because the brains behind the operation died via murder, I believe, in the Ultimate Universe. But I didn't really follow the Ultimate Captain America that much, so I wouldn't be able to really tell you that well. So sorry about that. But yeah, that's as you can see, I did this actually like today, 4 or 5 p.m. watching the movie. So yeah. Okay, so this was also a part of the intro, and I got it for actually kind of three reasons. First reason, upper right corner, it kind of looks like a blueprint, possibly for the Quinjet, maybe by the design, by the front look of it. I'm not talking about the bottom right one. That's obviously not the Quinjet. That's another fighter jet for the military most likely. But I'm talking about the top right one because that is a very unique design, and it looks a lot like the Quinjet. So that's one reason. Another reason is because Stark Industries. It seems as obviously they might have made the Jeep or the transportation vehicle that you see here, but they also most likely made what is seemingly kind of outlined in blue, and that's the kind of sonic weapon that they end up using in the film to temporarily kind of stop Hulk in his tracks by what I'm assuming, sending a somewhat repulsing like kind of wave. So obviously it's not the same repulsor. Actually, it could be the same repulsor technology that Iron Man uses, but I say probably not that likely, but who knows. Then the right above that kind of drawing, or I mean not drawing but blueprint, I guess you could say, you have the shield kind of emblem, the eagle and the United States thing going on, the star, and the like acronym surrounding the eagle. So yeah, a few other cool things. Okay, so this is later in the film. As you can see, an hour and 9 minutes about into it, when they are kind of trying to track Betty and the Hulk because they're gone after the whole Culver University um, kind of thing happened with the military coming into the college and that Betty worked at and basically causing a firefight against the Hulk. So yeah, they're trying to track them down, and in the process, they use Shield technology, the Shield database, as General Ross said, to find them. So they put in like every single kind of key word they possibly can, like Mr. Blue, Mr. Green. Well, most likely also Bruce Banner. I'm guessing Hulk as well. That makes sense. Elizabeth Ross would probably go in there. So a lot of keywords relating to those people are in there. But the reason this is Easter egg, so to speak, is because it's Shield. So that Shield's been involved basically in every single MCU movie. So yeah, that's why it's in the MCU Easter egg. So my next picture is also it's earlier, 47 minutes about. So again, sorry for it not being chronologically or correct when I'm showing you these, but it is Emil Blonsky getting what looks like a prototype super soldier serum, possibly. And the reason I say that is because if you saw Captain America, the first Avenger, you notice that the super soldier serum was blue as well. It's not the exact same shade, but it's still a shade of blue. So I found that interesting. And in the film, they said they'd put them in the deep muscles and then like the spinal cord, like the bone marrow in there. I'm guessing the heart in the bone, but I found it interesting. They didn't saturate it in any rays of any sort, like not Vita rays or anything like they did in Captain America. So I found that interesting as well. But maybe that's why he had some of the side effects he did, because it wasn't saturated with the rays. So yeah, that's just my take on it though. And yeah, moving on. So this is about an hour into the movie, and I put a little circle in the screen, a kind of like light red, gets really dark pink, but it's Hulk. It's after he and Betty left the kind of firefight I was talking about earlier at the school she teaches, university, and it's raining, pouring, as you could tell by the clouds and everything, and a lightning storm is also going on. It seems like one lightning bolt hits Hulk or really close to him, because then he just kind of flips out. He throws like a large rock into the sky, starts yelling at the sky. That's what he's doing right now. And if you look out where I have the circle, you see that like dot that is circled, I guess. That's actually falling from the sky. It's going like pretty fast. I slowed down the movie when I was watching it because I wanted to make sure I got it and didn't miss it. So I believe that is Thor, and the reason why I believe it's Thor is because of a few reasons. First off, if you look at the films chronologically, it seems to take place Captain America, obviously at that first, not including the ending part where he comes in the present day. Then you have Iron Man, and then Iron Man 2. And the reason I say that is because at the end of Iron Man 2, there is a news report of the firefight with Hulk, which I'll get into probably when I do the Iron Man 2 Easter egg. So yeah, so that puts Hulk after Iron Man 2, or at least near the end of Iron Man 2, pretty much. then after that is, you said you kind of get that situated with everything else, and how in Iron Man 2 they mentioned Thor. That puts Thor kind of in the middle of Iron Man 2, which then in turn would, I guess, not really fit this, but it could still fit this, if you know what I'm saying. Like, they can all be happening at the same time. And another reason I say that is because the storm that's going on right now, it's kind of random if you really think about it, because like just a few, I'm guessing, minutes ago, maybe an hour or so, it was really sunny, and then during the fight it just randomly starts raining, and then it's just pouring and pouring and pouring. And in the Thor movie, they said like kind of irregular weather patterns, I think that's what they said, or something similar to that. And it's like spontaneous weather, and then it just kind of goes away. This obviously didn't really go away, but in the Thor movie itself, it was raining, I believe, or at least it was dark like this. So it is possible that that could be Thor. It would make a lot of sense, as who will also be falling from the sky during a lightning storm or thunderstorm. And yeah, so that was just my kind of take on it and why I have it here with the other MCU Easter eggs. Alright, so my last kind of like picture still is at the end of the movie. As you see, an hour and 45 minutes into it, and that is Tony Stark in all his glory. He comes into the bar, and I believe he just kind of starts talking to General Ross about possibly getting the Hulk into the Avengers Initiative. But then, well, I'm feeling like Ross, he's having a bad day, so he's probably just like, oh, well, whatever, I don't care. So that might be why, because Iron Man, if you remember now, he's not an official member yet of the Avengers, but he's like a liaison, kind of. So I guess he still works with them. Maybe he's like a representative right now, trying to recruit people. So that might be how they kind of start the hunt for um, the Hulk or Bruce Banner. So yeah, but obviously Tony Stark, that's a giant MCU Easter egg. That's pretty much like in your face Easter egg. So didn't really have to look for that one. And they didn't even add it to like the end of the credits either. So that's kind of neat, since Marvel was doing the end credit stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my MCU Easter eggs. I have a few other things that I talked about though, I guess. I talked about how they didn't have the Vita rays, or Vita rays, however you say it, and also like the Shield database thing. But another thing I noticed was that brains played a lot, like kind of like the whole thing with your brain and whatnot, that played a lot into this movie, if you really think about it, because I paused it a few times when they showed Betty in the newspaper that Bruce Banner had, and it was talking about her work with like your brain and everything. And then the way they had him turn into the Hulk, the kind of gamma rays, I guess, that was coming out where going to where the target was painted on his face in the kind of introduction and whatnot, that was going to his brain. So I don't know what's this connection with the brain. Does it have any significance? Who knows? If you know or have a good theory, just comment below. Please do that. It'd be great if you actually are like right, or you make a lot of sense, and then someone else comments on that, kind of adding on to it, and then maybe together we can, all the comic book fans in the world, can like find a answer to why the brain was so important in this movie, relating to the Hulk and obviously Betty Ross's research. And then another thing I thought was kind of interesting was the whole Mr. Blue thing, because of the fact that Mr. Blue in the comic books kind of is trying to find the Hulk and chase him, so to speak. But in this, it's like the other way around. So yeah, but there's a lot of other Easter eggs with the whole TV series Hulks, comic books relating to the Hulk. But again, I just am doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe Easter eggs. So don't kind of like comment or message me, because I did get a few of these in my Iron Man one about, yo, why did you leave out this and that? Because it was in the that's the Easter egg in the film, And then I responded, well, it's not a Easter egg relating to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So yeah, but that's it for me. And I hope you liked the video. Please comment, subscribe, and like, and see you when I do my next one. Thanks.